Hello and welcome to More Time in the Kitchen. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to make a traditional Scottish dish, Balmoral chicken. So Balmoral chicken is a great alternative to just having haggis on its own for your Burns night supper. Now for those of you who don't know what Burns night is, it is the night where we, Scottish people, celebrate the life and works of Robert Burns, or Rabbie Burns, or Rab Burns for short. So we celebrate it on the 25th of January, which was his birthday. And if you don't know who he is, he's the bloke that wrote Auld Lang Syne, which is the song that is sung around the world on New Year's Eve when the clock strikes midnight. So he's a pretty famous guy, and I'd say he's almost treated like a sort of unofficial, non-religious patron saint. And I think he's a lot more celebrated than our actual patron saint, which is St Andrews. I think we make a lot of a bigger deal out of Rabbie Burns night than we do of St Andrews Day. I'm not even sure where St Andrews Day is. So Rabbie Burns is very much seen as a man of the people. He was from a farming background, so you know he's a working man. Also at the time when he was alive, he apparently was very warm and friendly. He got on with people very well, and he was a bit of a looker by all accounts as well, so that always helps, although that's not usually what the Scots are known for. We're not usually known for our looks. And his work does a fantastic job of representing Scotland and its people. Our language obviously is written in the Scots dialect, our sense of humour, our patriotism, our food, particularly in his poem addressed to haggis. And I was actually considering reading out that poem as I went through the recipe for this video, and then I read over it and realised it's a really long poem, and I don't quite know how I managed to forget this, because I have been sat at a Burns night supper before waiting for the food while someone's been reading this out and thinking like, God, get to the end, I'm starving. But yeah, we celebrate his life and his work by eating the food that he loved, haggis, neeps and tatties. And some of us will also go out for a ceilidh as well. A ceilidh is a Scottish party, basically. The lads will wear their kilts and the lassies will wear maybe a bit of tartan, usually just a nice dress. And they'll play some traditional Scottish music, and we'll do some traditional Scottish dancing. And that's Scottish social dancing, not to be confused with Highland dancing, which is different. Anyway, enough about old Rabbie Burns, let's get cooking. So Balmoral chicken is literally chicken wrapped in bacon, stuffed with haggis. So you'll need 2 rashers of bacon per chicken breast and about 2 tablespoons of haggis to stuff the chicken with. Depending on the size of the chicken breast, you may want a little less or a little more. And as for equipment, you will need a freezer bag. You'll need either a meat tenderizer or a rolling pin, or something heavy to hit the chicken with. We're going to be whacking the chicken. And we'll also need some tin foil. So just a little note before I get started, just want to say that this recipe might vary a little bit from others in that I'm not cutting the chicken and stuffing in the haggis like you might do, say, like a chicken Kiev. A lot of recipes will show you how to do it that way, but this method that I'm going to show you I personally find a lot easier, and it's the recipe I use and it's how my mum showed me how to make it. So if you're making anything traditional, you've got to use your mum's recipe, don't you? So what I've got here is I've got the chicken in a freezer bag. It's a good strong freezer bag. You want to use a good strong one, because if you use one that's flimsy, or if you make the mistake of using cling film instead, you're probably going to end up with raw chicken juice all over the place, which is gross. So yeah, get a good strong freezer bag. And I've got my rolling pin here. Like I say, you can use a meat tenderizer if you've got one of those. I don't, so this is good as anything else. And you are going to hit the chicken hard until it's flattened. Now you want to have your chicken facing up with the smooth side on top. and that I find sort of keeps it together a bit more. If you turn it the other way, sometimes it can end up like a bit of a mush. And I'm going to take the rolling pin and work out my frustrations until I've got a nice flattened piece of chicken.
Disrespect your surroundings!
And you should end up with a nice flat piece of chicken. Something looking a bit like this. Next, we're going to lay out our tin foil, and we'll take 2 bits of bacon and place them down so that the skinny end and the fat end are at opposite sides, so you've got a sort of oval shape. Next, you're going to take your chicken out of the freezer bag and lay it so that the smooth side is on top of the chicken. Bacon, I mean. Get it in the middle. There we go, that's better. And finally, we're going to spoon on the haggis straight into the middle. So that's about 2 dessert spoonfuls going in there. Okay. So you want to make a sort of sausage shape with the haggis so that it's all in the centre, and you don't want it to come quite to the outside of the chicken. You want a bit of space there. So you can see that we're not really using that much haggis, which means that this is quite a good gentle introduction to haggis if someone's never tried it before. And now we're going to sort of fold it up a little bit like a roulade. So we're going to fold the top bit over and tuck that in a little bit and just roll along. Keep everything tight, and then we'll take it to the end of the tin foil, and then you want to wrap it nice and tightly in the tin foil, so this will keep the chicken and all the other ingredients packed in closely so that they're not going to fall apart. And it also means that all the moisture from the chicken is going to be kept in there, and it's going to be nice and juicy. Keep rolling till you get to the end, and then just use your hands to tuck the ends in and fold it in. So it's a little bit like a burrito. So that should be everything in there, nice and tight, in a nice little neat package. And now you're going to pop that parcel onto a baking tray and into a preheated oven at 200 degrees Celsius. And you're going to leave that for half an hour. Now that's not the total cooking time, there's one extra step, so don't go away quite yet. So the chicken has been cooking in the foil for half an hour, and it should be really nice and juicy. You can see there's a little bit of juice coming out. So the problem with that is though that the bacon will not have gotten very crispy. So to crispen up that bacon for the last 15 minutes of cooking time, so it's getting a total of 45 minutes, we're going to unwrap them. And we want to have them facing up so that the middle is at the top. So we have actually got a little bit of browning there. So they're ready to go back in for another 15 minutes. So if you'd like the recipe for the whiskey cream sauce, I've done a video for that as well, and the link to that is down in the description and at the end, so you can check that out as well. It's a very easy recipe, very easy sauce, but it tastes great and it goes fantastically with haggis or with the Balmoral chicken. And that's one thing, if you've never tried haggis before, you need to have it with a sauce because it can be quite dry on its own. Not so much in the Balmoral chicken because you get the moisture from the chicken, but still much improved by the sauce. Anyway, I cannot wait to tuck into this. Let's have a little taste. Get some of the sauce, a little bit of everything. Get some of the meats. Some tatties. So many calories, but it tastes so good. So it's just a winning combination. You know, it's historical food, so you know if it's lasted the generations, it's going to taste great. So the chicken's nice and moist. The haggis adds like a sort of peppery kick to it. Bacon is nice and I wouldn't say crispy, but it's browned. So whether you're celebrating Burns Night or you just fancy a taste of some Scottish cuisine, I hope you give this recipe a go. If you do, let me know in the comments. If you'd like a dessert to go with this as well, I've got a recipe for cranachan, which is a traditional Scottish dessert. You can check that out in the link below as well, or you can check out the Scottish food playlist that I've got. But whether or not you give it a go, if you like this video, give us a like, give us a comment, and subscribe for future content. But for now, cheerio, bye! And also because that's how my mum made